This is the beginning, sorry for the delay, of the Commissioners Workshop. Today is October 30th, 2025. So, this workshop is open up to any discussion. If anybody would like to speak out there, if not, we could continue our discussions. I don't know if you gentlemen want to bring anything up.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I would just thank the board for its leadership in giving targeted tax relief to low-income seniors and homeowners in Lake County. While it's not enough, this is an important start in giving tax relief to our citizens and our homeowners. It's regrettable that the state of Ohio is not taking responsibility for its obligation to fully fund public schools. But we are doing the best we can with the tools we're given here in Lake County. And it's important for the record to note that the overall cut to government, including Lake County, including our own county government, is an average of 1.5% to everyone's total budget. So this is certainly a doable sacrifice to give some targeted tax relief to our seniors and our homeowners in Lake County. It is nowhere near enough, but it's a start.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I wanted to echo Commissioner Pushnik's comments about it being a start. As we had the meeting on Monday with all the taxing entities across the county, I continue to try to reiterate, we continue to try to say, listen, please engage the county. The county did not ask for the ability to do this. This was presented to us by the state. This is, as we've said, the only tool that we have available to do any type of property tax reform or credits coming off of this year. This decision will be implemented for the 2025 tax year, which will be into 2026 collections. But there are other things that we can do and that we can explore and look at and work together to find efficiencies and ways that we continue to deliver the high level of services that we're accustomed to in Lake County, but also respecting the taxpayer and making sure that we're doing so in the most responsible manner possible. And I just want to reiterate and encourage the entities that we spoke with. I know I did not, nor did either of you, to take this decision lightly. We spent a lot of time coming up with and doing our homework, trying to make sure and understand the topic and the decision we were making as best as possible. We apologize about the speed at which we had to do this. This law was just passed June 30th. There was vetoes on the budget. Then there was overrides of vetoes. The law didn't go into effect until September 30th. We sent out to all 47 taxing entities, got them to give us their information so that we could look at a high level of what the revenue map in this county is before we made any of these decisions. We also went down and engaged our elected representatives and leadership in Columbus before making these decisions. And this is, as you said, just a start. I'm excited and the opportunity to work with all of our entities countywide next year on coming up with ideas to address the fact that, yes, in this county, we are over-reliant on property taxes. We have different opinions on whether property taxes should exist. I want them to still be there because I don't want Columbus dictating the quality of our educational institutions here in Lake County. They have an obligation by the Constitution to pay for public schools. They're going to choose what level to do that. And if we want to have that local control and ability to potentially enhance and increase that quality, then I would still like to have that ability. But at this time in this county, we are far too over-reliant on those property taxes to support our school systems as well as other services that we provide. And this was an opportunity to start to, a very small opportunity for us to kind of just reduce what the increases were coming off of last year. So I just want to continue to encourage the folks that have reached out, that have engaged in the conversation about how can we continue to make Lake County a wonderful place to live. Please continue into next year because this is not the end of this conversation. This is unfortunately the start that had to be done by October 31st to be in place for this year. So Thanks.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I think it's important for our taxpayers to know the relief that we've passed for them today, which is to double the owner-occupied credit, originally 2.5%. Doubling it will be 5% rollback for our citizens. And the homestead exemption for low-income seniors, folks who make about under $40,000 a year. The average benefit under the homestead exemption was about $400 or $500. This doubles that to about $800 to $1,000. It's not enough, but for folks who are on the edge, for folks who are on the risk of being taxed out of their homes, this could be life and death. And so it was important for us to take this vote, given that the deadline for implementation next year is literally tomorrow. There was no other opportunity to take this vote. There was no more time. The legislation gave us a strict deadline of October 31st. And, you know, maybe this is trick or treat from the state legislature, but we have to take it seriously, and we have to give targeted relief to our low-income seniors and our homeowners who have suffered such incredible tax increases since the last revaluation. Lake County residents have experienced an average of a 30% increase in their property tax values, and an average increase from that math of about 15% on their tax bill. Those are double digit. Those are incredible increases in their tax liability, and it is not fair that homeowners are being overburdened to pay for everything. I think we need to send a loud message to Columbus that they need to take this issue more seriously, and that if they don't pass meaningful property tax relief, which actually cuts taxes in Ohio for those who need it the most, you're going to see the Citizens Amendment to abolish property taxes pass, and the citizens are going to take all the money back. So the reality is Columbus has the sword of Damocles over their head, whether they know it or not. They need to get serious. I know that you and Commissioner Beveridge have visited with and spoken to a lot of our state reps and senators, and the message was, we're not coming to the rescue. I think they need to check themselves, because if they don't do their job, the people of Ohio are going to do it for them, and that will flip the table and force Ohio to completely rebuild its tax system from the ground up. Some would say that's a good thing, some would say that's a bad thing, but the train is off the tracks at this point, folks. And we need to do more to give property tax relief to all homeowners in Ohio. I'm proud that this commission has done everything in their power to cut taxes for our seniors and our homeowners in need today, but more has to be done. And we need to put responsibility on the folks who make the law, and those are our state reps and state senators. They need to get her done. Otherwise, we're going to see a revolution next year when you see this amendment on the ballot in 2026.
So I think that we'll continue to work. I'm proud of Lake County in that we were able to pull all those taxing entities together on a couple occasions now to get their feedback and input. We didn't do this blindly. We didn't do it without having those conversations. And 47 is a lot in one county of people that all have a stake in this. So I think, have done a good job already looking to streamline what we do here. We're hoping to help the community and the county do the same. Our eyes always, how can we save money? Where can we find efficiencies? I know Commissioner Beveridge says that a lot, but it's absolutely true, without cutting services. So I think the action we took today is important to the homeowners of this county who tell us every day that they were overtaxed in the last couple of years. So until they figure it out down in Columbus, we will continue to go to Columbus. We will continue to go to Washington, D.C. to advocate for our county. I think it's worthwhile. Our conversations there were worthwhile. Commissioner Beveridge, if you agree, yeah. We get the climate of what they're thinking and what they're maybe contemplating there, and it keeps us ahead of the game, I believe. So I'm sure it's a changing landscape. It's going to change every day, if not in the near future, and weekly, and all through next year, I'm sure. So until we have a grasp on what the new formula's gonna be, I don't know, we're gonna do what we can when we can, so,
Mr. President,
yes.
to your point, it's about efficiency. We have a spending problem in Ohio. It's not a revenue problem. We have the biggest budget in Ohio history, over $100 billion. And the solution to excessive government spending isn't more spending, it isn't borrowing, it's certainly not more and higher taxes. It's cutting spending. The way we're going to ultimately be able to deliver meaningful property tax relief to our residents and neighbors is to cut spending in Columbus. I believe our local governments are operating pretty darn efficiently. That doesn't mean we can't do better, and that's something we fight to do in Lake County every day. But the state budget in Columbus has ballooned out of control, and it's time for them to take responsibility. They are just spending and spending. The sales tax, the income tax that was supposed to go for local government, was supposed to go for public schools, and mysteriously that money finds a way to stay in Columbus. Once again, the solution to property taxes is not switching over to sales tax or income tax or some other tax. The solution is to cut government spending. And everyone has figured out that we only have three choices. Number one, we can do nothing, and our property taxes are going to continue to balloon out of control. And frankly, we're all going to be taxed out of our homes, and we're going to be taxed out of Ohio. This is why we see the population of Ohio continue to drop. We are a high tax state. And every empirical study shows that high tax states like Ohio, New York, and California are losing population to low tax states like Florida and Texas. We have a serious problem with taxing and spending too much. And we've got to have Columbus take responsibility for that and start to cut their spending and cut property taxes. The local governments have already done much of what we can do. State government now has to step up and do their job. And when I hear they have no appetite or no interest for cutting their budget, folks may not have appetite or interest in voting for them if they don't start to do their job, because our seniors cannot afford this. Folks on a fixed income, disabled veterans cannot afford this. Homeowners cannot afford their property taxes to keep going up. Possibility number two, and I've heard a lot of state reps and senators say, well, just slash local services. You know what? I don't know about you, but I like having roads. I like having police. I like having fire and EMS. We need schools and libraries. Local services are essential services. I don't like the idea of having no roads and being my own police force. No, thank you. That only leaves us with door number three, gentlemen. And door number three is the state needs to cut its budget. It's time for Columbus to do its damn job.
Anything further? Bishop Maribel.
Gerard Mabel, 1049 Brentwood Drive. This is where I was sitting here. There are millions and millions of people who would like to be in a setting like this. And that was my dream in my young days. I went to the American Embassy. The consul said no. I went the second time. The consul said no. The American consul said no. I went the third time. The American consul said no. I went the fourth time. We became friends. And I went back again for a visa. He still said no. The seventh time, Lady Bishop and I, we went there, and I came here with my permanent resident. And in 3 years, I became U.S. citizen. I carry with me American flag. I take it with me in the car. And in my bedroom, it was right there. It's still there, my American flag. It is so good to be here. You just don't know. There are people dreaming to be in this place, calling the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything further? Well, I think that'll bring our workshop to a close.